Hello, I'm Mrs. Howell, your adjunct teacher for books, Passport to Adventure, a study of children's literature. I taught kindergarten for 14 years and have been a high school librarian since 1998. I have a master's degree in early childhood education and a master's in information sciences. I love teaching this class because it lets me combine my knowledge of how to access books with my experience with good literature for children. Let's get started with previewing the syllabus. Write down any questions you have and we'll discuss them in our first class meeting. The first page past the yellow Introduction Syllabus page is a tentative class schedule. Due to weather or illness issues, this could change. Please fill out the student contact information form. You will need to turn this in at our next meeting. Grab a highlighter and be ready to mark the parts in your folder that I emphasize. The next page includes information on Lipscomb University's Standard Code of Conduct. I would like to emphasize points 1 and 2 under dress code. You come to the Academy side primarily when all of our students are gone. We struggle to enforce our dress code here and would greatly appreciate if you would come to see me that you model appropriate dress for our students. Under expectations for you this semester, I would like to emphasize the following bullet points. Come with a willingness to read and share a wealth of children's books that will serve as a personal anthology for future planning of a literature-based program. Develop motivational and creative activities in using literature across the curriculum and understand the importance of story in all human lives. Turn to the first page of the syllabus. Notice that the text is suggested, not required. It's an excellent book on children's literature and I highly recommend it. This course is an in-depth look into how to create a literature-based classroom that integrates language and learning, how to use trade books to support inquiry and learning in all areas of the curriculum. In addition, the course will expose pre-service teachers to all genres of children's literature. Researchers have found that when children listen to and discuss different qualities of children's literature, those who are exposed to the higher quality literature produce narrative writing that is significantly better. Books expose students to a multitude of topics, points of view, and stories that increase students' understanding of the world around them. As a result, teachers must know how to choose high-quality literature and how to use these literature selections in the classroom to promote greater learning. Each student will complete these assignments: a book database, a literary elements paper, a final project, and 3 online projects for the full term class and 2 online projects for the half-term class. Only one of the online projects, your choice, will be presented in class. There's more information about all your assignments in your folder. Your attendance participation grade depends on these important points: punctual class attendance or a compelling reason to miss, being prepared for class, taking notes, participating in class, etc. Show a positive attitude, work well in groups, turn in assignments on time, stay on task during class, and leave your cell phone off. Participation in online discussion boards when assigned. On the last page of the syllabus is information about any books checked out from any of the Lipscomb libraries. Please return books promptly. All books checked out from the elementary, middle, and high school libraries are due the day finals begin. Unreturned books will result in a grade of incomplete for the class. The next page is a generic rubric that I use to grade all projects. The next page is a reminder to check the Lipscomb libraries for books for this class. There are children's books available at all 4 libraries. Following that is information about how to obtain a library card from the Nashville Public Library. Read the portion under non-resident cards. If a book is not located near the library branch closest to you, you can use your library card to have the book sent to your local branch. Turn the page to the sheet titled Books Featured in Today's Class. Here you can create a list of books talked about in class for your future reference. I encourage you to write these books down. We will cover a lot of great books during this term. After the green page with the author web page title, you will see a very important page with login information for all 3 online projects. The next page gives some generic instructions on how to create your author web page. Also included are more detailed instructions. Double check to be sure that you include everything listed in your instructions for the assignment. Not everything may be included in students' previous projects. Click on the site for Virginia Burton. That's mine. It's the basic no-frills model, but you can make yours as elaborate as you wish. Please add your project to the Children's Authors web page. Do not create a new web page. Be thinking of an author you would like to showcase. You will sign up for the author of your choice in class. Be sure and have an alternative author in case someone else takes your first choice. After the pink page with Book Award trailer on it, you will find instructions on creating your project. Highlight these bulletin points. You can use iMovie, Movie Maker, Animoto, etc. This assignment is not meant to be static. It should look like a movie. No PowerPoints. Be sure that your name is on the project. Include information about the award, creator, date created, and how to win the award. Include examples of books or authors or illustrators that have won the award and when. Also included are instructions on creating your project using Animoto. You will sign up for a book award at our next class meeting. After the yellow-orange sheet with genre bulletin board is a sheet showing sample bulletin boards. On one side is the screencast of a Prezi I created. If you use Prezi, you will need to print out a copy of the screen showing the entire Prezi, even if everything looks very small. You have to do this in the edit mode of your Prezi. On the other side is a glossary that I created around the poetry genre. Last in this section is a printout listed explaining the different genres. You will sign up for a genre at our next class meeting. After the buff-colored page, you will see a sheet with instructions for your literary elements paper. Under assignment, highlight the last sentence. This paper cannot be submitted online. A print copy must be turned in for grading. Under instructions, highlight these sentences. Select 2 books from the Newbery Award or Honors List, except for The 100 Dresses by Eleanor Estes. You can use Newbery winners from your book database. Only 1 book can have been read before, as a child or to other children. It can be valuable to you to read from an adult perspective a book that you read as a child, but only 1 book can have been read before. The paper will be in 2 parts for each book. Part 1. You will write a personal response to the book in terms of your own emotional or intellectual reaction to the story as a whole or a section, a scene or an issue which personally affected you as you read. This is not a book report. Don't retell the story. Do include a pivotal scene that provoked a response and what that response was. Note, a personal response is not an opinion. A response calls for richer information than just stating an opinion. An opinion limits the opportunity for exploration or response. A reflection or response invites reaction and discussion to your perspectives. Under Part 2, highlight these questions to help you clarify your personal response to your book. What makes the book work? What makes you excited about it? What was the element that made you respond? Justify strength of the book in terms of the literary element that you selected. Also highlight these lines. You will need one outside source for each book. Copy of the sources must be included. Highlight in the source what information you included in your paper. Include a favorite quote from each book and share why you think it is significant. Include copies of the sources you used when you turn in your paper. On the other side of that first page are examples of APA citations for the bibliography for your paper. The last pages in this section explain the literary elements. Don't panic over these. We will go over them in class and practice them twice. After the purple page are instructions regarding your final project. A link to the database for award-winning children's literature is given in the first paragraph of your instructions. More information about using the DAWL website is in your folder. If you need to find more award-winning children's books for this project, don't forget that you can search the Lipscomb libraries for specific book awards. Highlight these sentences. Decide on one grade level for all of your lessons. Create an imaginary classroom and describe its demographics, age, grade, location, and socioeconomic level, using one age, grade level for the total project. Explain why you selected each book. Include an image of the book. List the award the book won and when. Reading Rainbow is not an award. Describe how you will introduce the book and or author. Create a lesson plan for using each book in your classroom. List introductory and follow-up activities for each lesson. Include how you will evaluate the student's learning following each lesson. Last but not least is a sample lesson plan. You can use this or create one of your own. After the blue sheet with book database on it, you will find instructions for the database that you will create. Highlight these sentences. Read only one book by any author. One book must be an audiobook. One book must be a graphic novel. You may not include The 100 Dresses, The Invention of Hugo Cabret, or Sahara Special in your database. You may create this database online. I will post the book database form later, but to grade your project, I will have to have a print copy of your database, including a copy of the tally sheet that is in your folder. Next is a list of books for you to choose for your database. You can only include books read from this list. I've included where you can find most of the books in either the public or Lipscomb libraries. Be sure and read the key under the title Book Database Reading List. I've included a sample database page. A book may actually be listed under more than one genre or reading level, but for the purposes of grading, please list only one. The numbers along the left side of the book database form are to be entered in the appropriate place on the tally sheet that follows this form. You can put the books in any order you wish on the book database form, but you must have the book number in the right category on the tally sheet. Don't worry, we'll go over this again. On the book database, you'll find a column for illustration medium. Publishers are including this information to acknowledge the book of the illustrator. If you find the medium used in the book or on the book jacket, enter in that column. Otherwise, don't worry about it. We will talk more about the personal connection, words, images, and text to columns when we meet later on. On the tally sheet, highlight the sentence right above the word genre. Write GN by the graphic novel and A by the audiobook. This tally sheet must be turned in with the database. Last but not least, read the cartoon caption. This is to remind you to be sure and bring those pesky library books back to all of the Lipscomb libraries in order to get your final grade.